It was the year 1492, and I, Wesley, was very excited to join in on the trend of the age of exploration. I quickly signed up for the first expedition I could, which was the expedition of Christopher Columbus to Asia to bring back the goods found in Asia. I would be placed under the position of navigator, and I would be responsible for leading us to our destination. We would leave on August 3rd, 1492, from Spain. Throughout the journey, I found myself with no friends and all alone. It was painful to not have family. Luckily, my job was fairly easy because of the invention of the compass and the astrolabe to help guide us. Overall, I was fairly lazy with my job and mostly let the compass and astrolabe do the work for me. I guess that didn't turn out so well in the end when we had reached the wrong destination. As we were sailing through the calm seas, some of the crew members began to experience what was known as scurvy. One of the crew members, known as Chris Coughdrop, who was a germaphobe, would occasionally throw other crew members overboard in fear of them getting him dirty. Do it! Eventually, he began to experience scurvy and threw himself overboard. That was a relief. For quite some time, I found it especially scary that we might eventually meet a giant sea monster face to face, and he would decimate us. Luckily, it turned out that the map I was using was fairly outdated, and because of the improvements in cartography, the newer map that I had didn't include giant sea monsters, and was in fact more accurate. Looking at the maps made by cartographers, I wondered if there were more than the 3 continents that were displayed. On October 12, 1492, we eventually reached our destination, which we believed to be Asia. We sailed from island to island, exploring what was around there. We were in search of pearls, gold, and other precious goods. These goods would later be used to give to the patrons that supported his voyage. We sadly didn't find much. We eventually had to begin sailing back to Spain, leaving behind 40 men in a settlement. For quite some time while sailing back, I questioned my skills as a navigator. I would constantly ask myself if we had actually reached our intended destination. In order to raise my already low self-esteem, I would tell myself we had in fact reached Asia. I'm sure that my parents would be proud of me and I wouldn't get yelled at. I was very excited to finally be coming back to Spain. Sadly, that didn't help me to ignore the seasickness that I inevitably faced. Luckily, I managed to last the entire trip back to Spain, and I do greatly regret going out on the ocean. Overall, after having to put in much effort and work to last out there on the ocean makes me not want to ever go on an expedition again. And I still wonder if we actually made it to Asia.